What if we're focusing on the wrong problem? The United Kingdom is considering banning social media for children under 16. Other countries are watching closely and considering similar moves. On the surface, it feels like a solution to a growing crisis in youth mental health. But as a physician, I am not convinced the problem is as simple as the platforms we are trying to ban. I think social media is not the disease. It is the symptom. Let me explain. A generation ago, childhood looked different. Kids spent more time outside. They played sports. They met friends in person. They had more unstructured time in real communities. Today, many children spend those same hours online. It is easy to say social media caused that shift. But what if it simply filled a gap that was already forming? Less community, less independence, less face-to-face interaction, more academic pressure, more structured schedules, more isolation. In that environment, it makes sense that children would turn to the one place that offers constant connection and stimulation. Then we are surprised when social media becomes central to their social life. In medicine, we see this mistake all the time. We treat the symptom and ignore the system behind it. If a patient has high blood pressure, we can prescribe medication. But if we ignore sleep, stress, diet, and activity, we have not solved the real problem. We have only managed it. The same pattern may be happening here. Yes, social media can contribute to anxiety, depression, loneliness, sleep disruption, and emotional distress. That part is not controversial anymore. But the more important question is this: why are so many young people vulnerable to it in the first place? I recently heard about a teenager struggling with anxiety and withdrawal. The family immediately focused on social media and restricted access. Screen time dropped, but very little changed. Later, the teenager joined a sports program, improved sleep, built stronger friendships, and developed a sense of purpose. That is when things improved. And something interesting happened. Social media use also went down, not because it was banned, but because it was no longer filling a gap. That is the insight we often miss. Maybe the real goal is not a world with less social media. Maybe the real goal is a world where children do not need it to feel connected in the first place. That is much harder work. Banning an app is simple. Rebuilding community is not. Reducing loneliness is not. Strengthening families is not. Creating real-world connection is not. But those are the changes that actually move the needle. As healthcare professionals, we should be careful about simple answers to complex problems. Because simple answers feel good, but they rarely hold up in reality. The question is not whether social media can be harmful. It can. The question is whether banning it solves the deeper conditions that made it so powerful. I do not think it does. If we are honest, we're not just talking about technology. We're talking about childhood itself. We're talking about belonging. We are talking about connection. So here's the real question. Are we trying to remove social media from children? Or are we willing to rebuild the kind of childhood where social media becomes secondary again? That is the conversation worth having. What do you think?